Are you a push out pin or what kind are you? So, what are we doing here today? What do we have here? Well, you see, oh, here it is, a fixed pin. What we have here today is a little MCO Unimat 3. My nose is running like a goddamn faucet for some reason. Various accessories, all bits and pieces, bits and bobs. This little guy is in desperate need for a good bit of clean. So we're gonna begin by just decapitating. Here's the chuck. This thing is, put it this way, if you're any weaker than me, this thing is unmovable. Like, I'm not super strong, but this thing is fucked. Those are important. Those are shims. Those are shims for leveling. Oh, those are some high quality screws. They're really tight, but they haven't mushroomed at all. Oh, they've been anti-mushroom. They've been mushroom protected. Oh, goodness gracious. If you're wondering why I'm doing this on my kitchen counter, it's because my kitchen counter is literally the best surface I have that is easily cleanable. I have a screwdriver here somewhere. Flathead acquired. Oh, that wasn't even tight. I don't know what that held in, but it held in something. Maybe if I act like I have a brain. Get the cable off. Yeah, don't mind the constant buzzing. This laptop's a piece of shit. Oh my god. It's a shitty ass system for this. It's cool I suppose. Oh, I need to get the motor out of the way. This is a plastic pulley, so I can't even be too rough on it, but I would like to apply a hammer. Oh, there it goes. Luckily, the headstock seems to be in good shape, so I'm not even going to bother with that. Because it is actually probably the only part of this that doesn't desperately need fresh lube. Jeez, let go! You're not that... Jesus fucking Christ. Look at that. That's lovely. Oh, that had a centering ball behind it. A plastic gift. My guy. That's an aluminium casting right there. Pro tip, if you just bend this shaft a little bit, just flex it, you can just undo the thread. You can get this out real easy. Get that out for cleaning. I'm just gonna leave that on for now. Because this guy's driven on this end. I'm gonna have to get that stupid thing out. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's because this little lathe came by me for the paltry sum of $50. Or $20, I don't know. I paid very little for it. The guy who sold it to me is a friend of mine from work. He sold it to me for a very paltry sum. For the simple reason that it has been hanging around his garage for a good 15 years now, unused. And he genuinely has no idea what he's gonna do with it. Because of that, he was like, hey, I heard you wanted a lathe, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I got one, and it works, but like, do you have a lathe you're willing to spare to to part with, and just take one of these old lunch boxes and just put the screws and stuff in. I'm gonna wash all of this in some really angry cleaner. Not that though. Definitely not that. But that. No. That's screw too. There. So yeah. Does that just pull? Oh yeah, that's just a clutch thing there. Okay, it just pulls off this entire unit. Just pulls off. Oh wow. Yeah, that is dead locked up right there. That is desperately in need of cleaning that. And he said, yeah, I mean, I have a lathe, I guess. I was like, wait, what do you mean by you guess? And he's like, well, it isn't exactly a big lathe. I looked at him and I said, it doesn't matter what the size of it is. If you have a lathe you're willing to part with, I'm willing to take it. I may think of some sort of lathe collector for that reason, but he ended up saying that he had an old small bench lathe that he got at some point from someone and never ended up using. He did at some point. What the fuck? How is this even? Thank you. Oh, of course. Ball detent. Okay, this end is fine. This is fine. That spins freely. So yeah, that spins freely. But this fucking thing is completely jammed in there. Oh. Did some fucking idiot drive a pin in there? Some fucking idiot being Unimac, yes. For the uninitiated, you can as I was gonna say, for the uninitiated, when it comes to dealing with mechanics and stuff, you can very often get away with doing with very simple tools without ever really needing the high-end stuff. There's some indispensable things, such as a set of Allen wrenches, a set of small screwdrivers, preferably something like this that has like removable bits. Because even if you get a cheap set, they're gonna be better than having only that one weird size that nobody ever uses. Which is a genuine problem, by the way. And oh, Jesus, that was tight in there. I do not remember tightening that. Okay, good. That's we have not yet disassembled the chuck, so we are going to do that. And of course I stabbed myself in the hand again! That's like the 20th time I do that, and it's not funny, ever. It was never funny. Oh. See if this will Alan. Like, aren't sinuses great? They get infected and they do all sorts of wonderful things that just makes life a great thing to live, you know? I mean, where would we be without sinus infections? I'll tell you right now, fucking utopia. God damn it. We'll mix up a cleaner here. Do not do what I'm about to do. I'm a professional idiot. Gonna need a whisk. Gonna need some sodium hydroxide. And some plain old dish soap. Dawn dish soap or something. In this case I'm using whatever the fuck I have to have home. We're gonna make a concentrated alkali cleaner. The reason for the whisk is to keep the sodium hydroxide, which is your alkali, from settling to the bottom of the container and causing a thermal runaway right at the bottom of this little jug and melting it. I got this thing only a few months ago, I'd rather not lose it. And now we just keep stirring that until all the crystals are dissolved. And now, for our aluminium friends, we're going to take another container, and I think I have it in here, yes. We're going to take citric acid, we're going to make an acid cleaner. The reason we can't use sodium hydroxide and make a basic, like an alkali cleaner for the aluminium parts is because they'll fucking dissolve. So anyway, here's our steel components. And as you can see, it immediately turns a dirty brown. The extremely strong sodium hydroxide I have here, and when I say extremely, I mean it, it's ridiculously strongly mixed. It reacts with that grease really fast. Like, we're gonna take the bed casting. You can see just how gross and ugly this thing is. Oh, that one was forgotten in there. You'd expect this stuff to just dissolve away a lot of things, and it does. It dissolves paint and pretty much anything oil-based. And surprisingly enough, it sometimes takes off rust too. But I don't really have any direct rust removers. Get ourselves one of these little wire wool scouring pads.
For the record, do not touch this stuff, do not touch this stuff, do not touch this stuff, do not ever touch this stuff! If you make up yourself a sodium hydroxide cleaner base, like cleaner solution, like, first of all, don't spray it all over your kitchen, don't spray it all over yourself, and most certainly, do not under any circumstances shove your hands in there when they're full of wounds and small cuts like mine are. Don't do that, it's a dumb plan, and stop spraying it all over your own hands, you fucking moron! You're gonna end up with 1,000 chemical burns.
Even though we've used a brush we don't really care about, we'll be able to reuse it after this. Why? Because this cleaner is so powerful that it will not leave anything behind on that brush. As you can see, it's almost like brand new. Oh god, water on the keyboard. It's not a... Slurp? I said slurp. Absorb it, damn you! Yes. Now we have that taken care of. And oh, look at that. No point in going with diesel or other such chemicals that are just really hard to deal with. No point in going with highly flammable stuff. You can just use sodium hydroxide high concentration with a little bit of dish soap. Don't worry about that. I've just in general been sick for a few days. Get out of the way. I'm just gonna hit these bed rails with this guy a little bit. This rag, for the record, is going to be replaced after this because it has seen better days, as you can tell. Like, look at this thing. It's actually not greasy or really dirty. It's been cleaned with like this stuff, which eats grease and turns it into soap. So, and I mean it was soaking in it overnight. So, it's clean. It's just really rough. It's just completely fucked up. I need paper for that. This little part is actually going to need to be oiled immediately. Or greased, as it were. This is a liquid grease. Or spray grease. I use this for anything that's low duty or that just moves slowly. Yeah, that's prepared. This pulley is gonna need a good cleaning too. And that's immediately clean. Before, after. Difference. This brush is, if anything, cleaner than when I started. Alright. Our chuck parts are now as clean as they are ever going to be. Oh fuck, there's still grease in there. These are precision parts, so it is very hard to keep them running right if they're full of garbage. So I'm suspecting that this one was just really dirty, this chuck. Dirty, full of corrosion. Other sad things that nobody wants to think about. Somebody's leftover underwear. I don't know. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the scroll here. The scroll was really full of garbage. For the record, sodium hydroxide, you can buy that at a local hardware store or even a regular grocery store. It's drain cleaner 9 times out of 10. Fuck's sake, can you stop scooping over? Good, the little steel balls are still in there. I didn't just lose them by doing that. Look at that! That wasn't brass, that was steel. Gonna need a few of these. Whoop.
Now, of course, they say you should never shove them into your ears, but the problem is you should never shove them into your ears and use them as a fucking battering ram. You're supposed to use them to very gently but effectively scrape goop out of your ears, not battering ram things further in. But if that doesn't speak for itself, then you shouldn't be allowed near sharp objects either.
Yeah, that felt tab's gonna have to be called out as clean as it's gonna get. Look at that, those felt pads are basically clean now. They were black before. It's about as effective as hot water. There's a reason that acid cleaner isn't as popular as hydroxide cleaner. It's because it's about as effective as hot water in many cases. No, wait, this isn't die-cast aluminum. Yes, it's die-cast zinc. Yes, of course, we can just scrub it from oxidation. It is now clean. Just get the water out of the waves. They aren't ground, but they are kind of half-acidly machined. Put that away off out of camera shot land. If you had a better view, you could just see the dirt falling off of this, because it's just, this stuff is just so effective. Alright, Q-tip. The part you're about to see was so dirty that it literally couldn't turn in it. But look at how clean that is now. There's still some like lines and shit in it, but this is the part that's supposed to go in there. A few minutes of cleaning, that's what it does. This stuff is insanely effective. Don't use it if you don't have to, but if you've got a lot of parts that are really greasy and really old and really messed up, do go right ahead, because this stuff works. Now, I'm gonna pause the recording and clean up real quick. So, alright, we have relocated to the kitchen table. Now you may say that, why on God's green earth would you ever want to put any of this on the kitchen table? You're just going to end up ruining the table. You'll be perfectly right.
So, we find ourselves here at the kitchen table to reassemble this device. This little tiny Unimath 3. This is 3, Emco Unimath 3, fuck, something. So before we put this casting, we're going to put these castings aside for the moment. Because what we're going to do is we're going to begin with this little unit. This little bastard that was completely jammed up. So we have that guy here. This little guy. And I believe, barring a few mini components, guy really cleaned up well. That was pitch black. One ball, not eaten. One ball, not eaten. So, we are going to begin by... I don't have anything to put the grease on. We will put the grease on this thing. Yes, it makes strands. We're going to use a little screwdriver tip that we're going to wipe off a little bit for posterity's. Oh, that was actually really gross. Yeah, okay. Now we're going to dip that in our grease. We're just going to... Yeah, I know you can't see much, but I just want to put a little bit of grease in on there. Put a little extra heavy on this, because I don't quite trust that. I got on there the first time. Soak up the excess right away. Get rid of all the goop. See? This now spins nice and freely, with a little bit of resistance from the grease, as expected. So, we will now... we are now going to have to pin this. So, where's our pin? It's right here. And is that a taper pin? It is indeed a spread pin. Okay. So it goes in from the outside. This little pin here, it just goes in like that. It's a tight fit. If you got the right headspace and everything, it just sort of slips in there. And then you got the nub sticking out. You gotta want to take yourself. Hey, buddy. My delicious little boy. That's a weird way to describe your cat. I do not eat my cat, for the record. He's just he just looks kind of delicious because he has kind of the same color and pattern as a caramel swirled toffee, if you will. Alright, got the pound ends. Is it this little nub? That's not coming out anytime soon. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of lava for grease in here. Okay, yeah, there's grease on that now. I have a little bit more on. Because I'm a greasy boy. I'm a grease lover. I'm one of those people, one of those weird people that, you know, the kind that doesn't mind getting dirty. One of those really weird people, you know. Like, I do this sort of stuff fairly frequently. I don't really use gloves because I don't really mind getting dirty. It's just, in my opinion, getting dirty while working is a sign that you've been working. It's a sign that you haven't just been dawdling, but you've actually been working. Okay, so that's not how I want it. It's nice and smooth. No weird noises or anything. Good. This is the cross feed, or the lengthwise feed, by the way. It sits fucking right there, and just feeds in, it just feeds carrot, like, what the carrot feed. Is that called cross feed? I don't know. Either way, put up plenty of grease on that. Hey! God damn it, stop going everywhere, will you? There's not plenty grease on there. We don't have to be careful with not making a mess on this part, because it is going to be entirely invisible. Look at that. It works! It works! Didn't work before. So we're gonna get a few screws. And these little tiny flathead things. Which, for the record, also were degreased very efficiently in that goo. In that horribly... I just realized I'm gonna need that case. Why did I put the grease on there? Why did I put grease on there? I'm just gonna use the spritz nozzle anyway. What the fuck is wrong with me? God damn it. Oh, yeah, just put some grease here so I can just carefully dab the screwdriver into it and just, like, you know, very, very gently apply grease exactly where I need it. Proceeds to spray grease everywhere anyway. I mean, I got the tissue for a reason. Okay, that's gonna work there. And before you ask, no, I didn't take 1,000 pictures. That is not the right screw for that, I don't think. Those are the correct screws. This is when you find out during assembly that you have lost a screw, and it's probably like, wait, I think I might have. Does this screw fit better in here? It's much better. Oh, ew. Oh, they're all the same type of screws. You see, I was worried because I didn't initially see that these screws are in fact slashed. As you can see, they're cut along there. That means that they're self-tapping machine screws. They're very commonly used to, back in the day, very commonly used to screw things into aluminium or zinc die cast. This is a zinc. Actually, this might be an iron die cast. Might be, not sure. Given how hard it is to scratch, it's probably an iron die cast. Or probably an iron sand cast, sorry, can't die cast iron. There. Now we just have the endless problem of the ball V10, which is not that guy, it's this guy, this ball, right here. We got two balls, this little ball. No, you fucker! You little fuck! Oh, into the hole. Into the hole. I almost just shit. I legit almost just shit. No, I think the little spring that goes along with it. Just shove that in there too. Just sort of push that down in there a bit. Okay, apparently not. Fuck me, I suppose. Get some larger parts out here. Is that the right one? I don't know. I've got a couple of set screws in here. I'm not sure. I think that's the correct set screw. Oh, thank goodness. One set screw there. Oh, here, and that one doesn't fit. Okay, good. So we're going to take the set screw, which is a very, very tiny one. Fucker. Get that flush. Are we happy with that detent? I would say I'm not really happy with that detent. It's not really firm enough in my opinion, so we're just gonna down a bit further. How much further can we bring it down? Okay, we can't even get it up at that point. That is very smooth. I like that. Very nice. So our enable disable box for the as you can see it's when it's out like that I can spin this freely independently of that. But if I push this in, push that in, I can try to turn it all I want. So you can see that thing pushing out because the worm drive is going to push the worm, but it's not going to allow that. But I can spin this way. I can spin this, and that shaft will rotate very slowly. It's a fixed gear drive, or nearly fixed. It's nearly fixed. But it says here 0.02 millimeters per revolution. So every time this thing makes one turn, that's 0.02 millimeters on the end here. That's 2/100ths of a distance that this thing has moved. That's very accurate. It is a watchmaking lathe, so it's a little clock lathe, so that does stand to reason. Now we're going to begin building this little carriage up, because it sits something like that, and it's got some rough spots here, but I just have to move across that very fast. I can't tell. This is definitely cast zinc. This part is definitely cast zinc. I'm going to be careful with those threads, because they're raised there. I'm fairly willing to say those threads might strip, which will be a problem. Get away. We are going to begin by running this threaded rod, or this Acme threaded rod, through this, just because I need to make sure there's no goo left in there, which there was quite a bit. And then, I can run this guy back through again, so we don't really need it in there at the moment. This part takes forever. We're going to begin. Should we do the crossfire first? Should we do the chuck first? We'll do the chuck first. The chuck is the part I'm intrigued about. I want to see how much much easier this thing moves with, oh. There's no grease on this, but that's an indication. Oh my god! Fucking washers. There are only a few parts to these little chucks. These super tiny 3-jaw chucks are just a couple of parts, which is really, really nice. So we're gonna begin by just making sure that these things slide easily. Oh, they don't.
Why do you not slide easily? That's a lot easier now. That went from taking the force of 1,000 dying stars to taking finger tightness force. Number 3 goes in here, and that's not happening. Really, this is still too tight here. Like, that is still way too tight. Like, these little chucks are extremely sensitive for the simple reason that they are so tight in tolerances. When you have a really large chuck, you can make up for bad tolerances or poor tolerances by just simply making it more adjustable. But when you have something this small, adjustability comes at a premium. Because every bit of adjustability you add to something like this means you're giving up rigidity. And rigidity is the price to pay for everything at this scale. You pay for every little feature, every little change with rigidity. If anything is added or removed from one of these, it comes at the cost or benefit of rigidity.
Ultimately we're just gonna do this. That's not way past its extension and it's easy. It's got a bit of a hiccup in it, but it's smoother than it was. So much smoother. We're going to tackle jaw number 2, which has apparently been jammed up back here at one point, and is very tight still. Look, listen to that. It's got a fucking... Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just tossing chunks of metal at my laptop. Yeah, it's not that I don't care about this laptop, it's that I bought it so cheap. And now you're saying, wait, cheap without camera? Well, the camera wasn't cheap. In fact, the camera cost 8 times as much as the laptop. Now you're going to leave you guessing exactly how much I paid for this laptop. Could have bought 8 of these laptops for the one camera. But yeah, that has a nice little snap to it there. But that slides very smoothly into the center there. Gotta get some garbage out of here as well. Garbage in there, out of there. Deburr that inner edge and we'll call it good. I'm not even quite sure why, but for some reason these chuck teeth are like angled up as if they rubbed against something really bad. The geometry I'm cleaning right now is the opposing geometry of the actual jaws. As you can see, the jaws have this cut in them, just to keep them nice and oriented, nice and fixed, and the head has these. And the chuck itself has that, so that now goes relatively smooth. Jaw number 3. Begin by cleaning out these little runners, these little slits. So full of garbage. Gabbage. Oh, that is just criminal. This is what was holding the entire thing up. This chuck, this jaw, man. And I think I know why, too. I think this thing was bugged at some point. Nope. Does it generally get tighter, or it's just a... Does it fit in any other slot? No. It fits just as poorly in every slot. So I think this is jaw number 3. That could become an issue. like a legitimate problem. First off, we're going to take this. If you wonder why I'm so aggressive against the screwdriver set, it's because tools are meant to be used one way or another, and this quote precision screwdriver set is missing literally all the useful sizes that you would get a precision screwdriver set for. So, okay, this thing has a bump in it, so we are just going to get ourselves a 200 grit stone. Oh yeah, look at that. It's got a high spot like no other. I wouldn't believe. Alright. That's still way too tight. That's a lot easier. Okay, I got garbage in it. Oh yeah, lots of crap. Lots of just dust. Look at that. Goes on with one finger now. Still way too tight, but let's make sure we aren't actually the others are a good fit, but this one is not excellent. We're now going to take the should we take the corners off so we don't end up with a bunch of burrs on there? That is getting close. I'm suspecting I'm going to have to get off all the black there before it will actually fit in properly. I did make sure to check too that it's not touching at the bottom of these valleys, at the bottom of these cuts. Turns out it very much is not. It kind of felt like it was going to, but it isn't. It isn't anywhere near, in fact. Like, you can see just how much space there is at the bottom there. You can kind of see through that gap there. There's light in there still. But yeah, that's slowly but surely getting better. It's nearly right now. Out here, it's good. Out here, it's good. But then it gets here and it gets really tight. So I'm suspecting this thing is actually a little bit tighter up front too. We're actually going to do this too. Check the thing flatness. It's about as flat as a banana. Just as expected. got high peaks on every single one of these. That wasn't really taking material off, that was just a check to double check everything. I mean, that's going in, but it might have been a bit on the tight side in 2 dimensions actually. We're looking at it. I need to make some sort of food today. I haven't eaten anything. It is 1:30 p.m. I haven't eaten anything today. Hey, look at that. That was all she needed. I need a shower too. Oh, I got a little bit of grit in there. That's why it all of a sudden started going so easily to just get it to shape. So I'll take the stone, put it away. Got a little bit of abrasive grit in there. It was self-clearancing, quite literally. By the way, if you do have grinding paste, do go ahead and try that. I don't have it easily available, so that's why I took the stone. Otherwise, I would have just slapped some grinding paste on here.
I'm holding this snap ring like that. See if that works. Just gonna try to put the ring, the hole, the bit through one of the holes, and I'll be fucked. That actually worked. I feel tempted to pull that off and just sand that fucking ring back. And just sand that washer back. Just file it down. Because this is way too much force. Oh, but there's no lock. There's no lock on a regular 3-jaw either. Because if I can't use this thing, then what point does it make? What point does it have? Like, what point is there if I can't even use it? No. This is what I would like to have some music on, but because I'm doing this recording, we can't. Oh, come on, just get on there. Just get up there. 10,000, half million more, picnicking out on the warm water shore. Nobody knows that we're always at hand to watch all the spaceships that take off and land. 10,000, half million more, picnicking out on the warm water shore. Nobody knows that we're always at hand. We know that we're always at hand. I think I've taken it down a sufficient amount now. It's gonna be a bit better at least. Isn't gonna compress quite as much. Which is really all one can really ask for. Oh god. Well, that's a bit better. Okay, and that's a good jaw set. Nice. We're done with the... Putting it back together is the part that takes time. Not because you need to look for parts, but because you need to make sure everything fits right. And evidently there was some issues with this chuck, but they're not resolved. Gonna have to... Like, this thing's been beaten to hell and back, so I'm gonna have to face the jaws on this. Okay. Now... I know that I just have some oh. Oh no. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, never mind that. Nope. Is this the block? Nope. Is this the block? Yep. Unfortunately, these are slotted Gibbs screws. Yay! Now, of course, we were all excited about the fact that maybe we could be able to adjust the gib without driving our fucking brains out, throughout our ears, but no, that is not going to happen. We are going to be doing Gibbs screw adjustment with a flathead. Ain't that just lovely? I believe a lot of you were worried that we were actually going to be able to have a good time here. Don't worry about that. Not a risk. It's a lot better than it was. It's 1,000 times better than it was when I first took it apart. Now that I have that taken care of, I can lock this screw down. No, that's not going anywhere. That's just going to work now. Theoretically. Okay. That's okay, that's cool. That's awesome. We now have every major component assembled and ready for, or pre-assembled and ready for finish assembly. Not as in the finish are doing it, but as in we are assembling this thing for real now, for real. Take these pads, soak them in oil or grease. Whoopsie daisy, that went everywhere. pads get soaked. I shit you not, they have to be soaked. There we are. That's that. That is really greasy. A little bit of a mess there. Alright. Well then, we're gonna put that down. Okay, you do not want to go down far enough. Fuck you, you are gonna get shoved down there. That hole gets greased. Now we get to have the honors. Alright. That is so much nicer than it was because it was basically stuck before. Alright, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. We're just gonna put this little grease on this little shaft. Ain't that right, ladies? That's always the excuse. It's not small, it's average. Okay, I guess Microsoft doesn't know how to store video files larger than like a couple of gigs. There we are. Now, let's see if the motor has died during the short period of time it has been stored. That still works. It's working. That's almost good now. They're almost flat. But I feel like I should probably go a little bit faster. Beautiful surface finish. And there we are. After all of that, our results are in. Bits that work as they should. Jaws that move relatively easily. And have some level of accuracy to their shape. I don't even know what the fuck had happened to these jaws, but as you can see, they're now more or less mirror shine. Well, close enough at least. The finish is good enough that I would use it as a sealing surface at least. I would gladly put a gasket on that. Makes me very happy because that's the sort of work this thing is going to do. This thing has a high point in the middle. It's right fucking here. Anyway, so this thing is officially done. Well, mostly. I'm going to take this motor apart and check the carbons at some point. And in fact, I'm going to replace this motor, I think, because this little motor, while it's cute, doesn't really have any worst part is I would say that torque isn't really even a question. Like, it doesn't matter if it has any torque. The thing that matters is that this motor doesn't have a duty cycle. It is literally got like a, does it even say on here? Yeah, it's like it's got an 80% duty cycle at 3,000 RPM. Something like that, I don't know. It doesn't have a very good duty cycle anyway, because this thing will overheat very, very quickly. It's already hot, or rather, it's already warm, and it's been sitting there. It's still warm, and it's been sitting over there for quite a while, just cooling down. Oh, this lid is failing. Cover. Coverino. But yeah. Yeah, this is. Well, it's also kind of interesting because what you can do is you can, if you really want to, and this is very much like reiterate, if you really want to, you can direct drive this fucking thing. Like that. That's the motor pulley. If I do this, then I take that thing off. I take off this idler pulley, which you should do when you direct drive. Take that belt off. On that pulley. On there. This is now a direct drive. This is the fastest this will go. If I put this in the bottom mode there, which is power setting 2, that is power setting 1, power setting 2, 0 in the middle. That means it's a 4,000 RPM. This little shit can really rip if it wants to. I thought it was scary turning with this thing at 200 RPM. I have spun it up at 4,000 once. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but all I know is that now this thing is in usable condition again after many, many years of being put away. And it's already full of shit. Already full of garbage. I should put a wiper on there. I think there might be supposed to be a wiper on this thing. But because this thing really needs a wiper. Like this screw here. This screw has a wiper on either end, which is great. But this screw has no wipers, which is really strange to me. I find that extremely weird. So I think I might just put wipers on this. Oh god. Can you please just go off of there? You. Is there a mountain of shavings just coming along, or have they all been mulched through the screw now? Like, that's always the question. Is there going to be a mountain of shavings coming along, or is it been mulched through the screw? It looks like there's a mountain of shavings. Oh yeah. It's all on the end now. Oh yeah. That's fucking gross. Mmm. Damn it. Gonna have to go back on the table. Suck that up with a vacuum. But yeah, this thing is done for the moment. Not gonna do anything more with this for a while. The motor is in perfect nick. It actually spins really freely. Like there's no binding whatsoever. It might need new brushes, as I said, but beyond that, as far as I'm aware, it's basically brand new. Like the guy who I bought it from, Robert, he barely used this, and I bought this for like $50. And based off how it looks, how it appears, doesn't really look like it was used a lot. The screws are in pretty much brand new condition. The weights are, I mean, they got some rust spots on them, but again, that's normal. It's been stored for a very long time. These centers have barely been used. These are dead centers, so this is a dead center. So while it can rotate in here, it shouldn't. I think it's supposed to spin on it. But yeah, like this thing's in really good shape. Is what I'm trying to say. I forgot to lubricate the boot end on that end. Speaking of, I think it's really weird that screw is so far out there. I'm wondering if maybe it's worth cutting a landing on this end. Just like down like 4 millimeters and just like shoving that thing in. Rest it away. 2 millimeters or something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Got to call it a bit.